On to our Lifetime Achievement Award. The winner of this year's Lifetime Achievement Award had a unique talent. He was one of the very best in the world. He was fiercely competitive, yet truly humble. He was one of the only people to hold both of the two most sought-after qualifications in the world of wine. And having achieved so much, he devoted much of his life to teaching and helping others along the path that he had already followed with such distinction. Sadly, he cannot be with us tonight. But I had the great privilege of visiting him in December before he died. More of that later. However, we are so glad that Nina and Romane are here, widow and son of the incomparable Gérard Basset, OBE, MS, MW, MBA, OIV MSc in Wine Management, and winner of the 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award.
Please welcome to the stage Nina and Romane Basset.
Wow, thank you very much. Well, I know for sure Gérard would be royally pissed off not to be here this evening. He was absolutely thrilled when Charles came to see us in December and presented him with the award. He was very touched, very humbled, and absolutely delighted. And as I say, he would have had a lovely evening had he been here this evening, and he would have been pleased to see so many people that he knew and had known for many, many years. And so on behalf of Romane and I, thank you very much to the IWC for this amazing tribute to him. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, I visited Gérard last December, and I know you won't want to miss a final message from the wonderful Gérard Basset. Thank you.
So I first came to the UK, it was in 1977, we're in England, and I came to see a football match following my team in Liverpool, Liverpool Saint-Étienne. And to my surprise, I really fell in love with England. So I told all my friends when I came back to Aix-en-Provence, at the time I was living in Aix-en-Provence, and I said, you know what, I'm going to live in this country. And they said to me, you must be crazy. But 2 years later I came, and really it's been a fabulous time. I came to be involved in the food and wine because one of my first jobs was a kitchen porter. And then I moved on to become a waiter, but I never been a waiter in France. I didn't know much about food and wine. But because I was French, people thought I knew a lot, you know. At the time they were, you know, this thing that French, know so much about wine and food. So I felt a bit frustrated, came back to France and did a course as a chef. And I took also later on a wine exam to be more confident. So it's how, and then obviously when I was in England, I did a wine sommelier competition just for fun. And I reached the final because the level was very low. So, but it gave me confidence and I said, well, you know what? I'm going to carry on. And then I decided that I would have all the qualification possible because I'd left school at 16 with no qualification. So it's how it came about. In one of the competitions, I did very well, and then a headhunter called me and say, you're working in a small hotel, what are you doing there? I've got a place for you in a much better hotel. I say, look, I went to see him and I say, look, I don't want to work in a hotel where I'm going to work 70 hours. I want to be able to study. He said, well, you should go for the interview. So when I went for the interview at Chewton Glen, I said to the guy who interviewed me, Robin Hudson, who later on would become my partner in Hotel Divin, I said to him, look, I don't want to work 70 hours, I want to, blah, blah, blah. And I remember he got a phone call, he took the phone, he said, I won't be long. So I thought the interview is not going well. But 2 hours later, we were still together, and I got the job. And I loved it. I stayed 7 years, it was fantastic. I'd been at Chewton Glen for 7 years, and started to do the Master Wine, and I thought, I'll stay another 2 or 3 years, and I wanted to go and live in California for a little while, because I'd been to California with Nina, my wife, and we loved it. And then one day, Robin said to me, let's go to a wine tasting, because we might change the big wine merchant we got. And I say, well, I never used to go to wine tasting with Robin, although we had become very good friends. So anyway, he asked me in the train, he said, how do you see your future? So I said, well, I told him, go to California, finish my Master of Wine, California, right? And then the week after, when I was off, he said, can I come and see you? And he said, would you do a hotel with me? I said, let me tell you one thing. You see this flat? I pay £52,000, 100% mortgage, and now it's worth £34,000 because I was so heavily negative equity. I say, I have no money. He said, oh, don't worry, we'll find money. Blah, blah. And so how it came about. So I said, okay. I told my wife, she said, let's go for it. And so we started planning, and we opened Hotel Divin a year later. But when we started Hotel Divin Winchester, we didn't know if it was going to work, so we didn't have in mind to grow a hotel. But I remember a year after, because we had done so well, we started to think we'll do Hotel des Sports, Hotel des Arts, So we registered a company called the Alternative Hotel Company. But then, when we were having meeting with Robin, every so often, we were having a beer in a pub, we were talking. It was like our head office. We said, Robin said, look, if one day we want to sell, it'd be much easier to sell 5, 6, 7 Hotel Divin than selling Hotel des Sports, Hotel des Arts. I said, okay, let's go for it. So we opened another hotel. And then we got people like the Gordon and Anita Roddick from the Body Shop involved, became shareholder. So it always came about. I left school 16, and when I came into later the wine, and with a very competitive attitude, I thought I want to get as many qualifications. I love doing the courses because you learn a lot, you meet people, they are different, and suddenly I started to do well. So I thought, well, I'm going to take the diploma of the Wine and Spirit Education Trust. Although I didn't do very well when I took a pass. I passed, but just, we couldn't write very well. IWC competition, international sommelier competition. So I won the European, I'd won the international for French wine. The World Championship, I was always starting to get close but never get it at the time. And then the Master Wine, which was the Holy Grail, But it was a lovely time. And when the hotel was doing well, I had more time because, I was part of the owner, so I could take time for myself to study. So, and one thing I must say, I was very lucky because I had a fantastic wife who supported me, never said anything. She said, you want to do it, you do it. When I lost in Canada, I did badly, and I'd say before, last time I do a sommelier competition, last time, ever, whatever happened. And of course, I did badly in Canada, and I said to my wife the day after, I'm going to do it again. I said, okay. So thank you, Nina. When we had Hotel du Vin, we had a lot of young people in France, sommelier, and in England, who wanted to come with me to learn because they wanted to win competition. So we said, a lot of French sommelier needed to learn English, came to England, learned about international wine. But I was getting a lot of CV. And so for me, it was good. These people were motivated, they wanted it. And to teach them was easy. And I learned a lot from them because, they were so passionate. They came with some idea. They had worked with other sommeliers who were very good, so gave me some new ideas. So when you teach to people who are very motivated in any field of life, it's easy. To be a good sommelier, obviously you need to be passionate, you need to have, but that is for many jobs, but you need to love people. Because you need to be, you want them to leave your restaurant, wanted to come back. You're not there to be teaching them, you're not there to impose them. You need to understand there are people who are shy, don't understand wine, are scared about wine. You have people who know a lot about wine. You have people who are label readers. You have people who are, all type of people. So you need to quickly understand who you are talking to and to give them what they want. Some people want to spend, let them spend. Some people don't want to spend, then you don't want to push them because, it's bad. So, and it's fascinating because in a busy evening, you have all different people. It's one thing I want to say to the UK wine trade is a huge thank you for all they've done to me. Because, first of all, I learned so much from people like you, Charles, but from many journalists, many master wine, many wine merchants who've been so kind to me. And I'm sincere when I say genuinely, I usually kind. I've been so lucky to meet all these people for all they've done to me. And also, since, people have known I had cancer, I couldn't imagine, I received incredible messages, incredible, people send me books, they say, you'll need to, I'm sure you'll have plenty of free time. Other things you can only imagine. People have been, so the wine trade have been amazing. So thank you, the UK wine trade.
Gérard, I'm really pleased to give you this Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, it's an incredible honor. I'm really humbled to receive such an award, which is with all the wonderful people who got it before me. To be part of the team is, so thank you very much. The International Wine Challenge, Charles and all the team, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Lifetime Achievement Award is a celebration of a life very well lived. As Nina said, Gérard loved to party. He'd have been furious to miss this one. So let's raise a glass and drink to his memory. To Gérard.